My baby. My baby. My baby. Oh, yeah, come. My baby. Be Percy. Sir, this thing is low. I think even our own too. Check it. The thing is showing low. Even our own too. They show. Their problem is if she goes or she will not come back. She will not come back. Come and use you guys to carry her. It's not as if ours is that far. That is not far. Let me lucky with junction. No, no, we'll book boats for you. Shop, not be only good shop now. Some are for lush drama, luck drama. Viewers happy. Some are rich, but not sure that you see those. Yeah.
It's still showing.
Good afternoon and hello everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. I am Egbono and Beauty and here with me is.
Oh, sorry, audio did it.
And today we are diving onto a topic that affects every area of our lives.
Let's start again. Okay. Sorry.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome to today's podcast. I am Egbono and Beauty and here with me is.
Oh, sorry, audio did it.
And today we are diving into a topic that affects every area of our lives. Today's topic is living a life of order. Order isn't just about having a clean desk or a tidy schedule. It's about aligning our lives with God's design, creating space for purpose, vision, and spiritual growth. We will explore insights from Habakkuk 2 verse 2 to 3, 1 Corinthians 14 verse 40, Proverbs 28 verse Proverbs 29 verse 18, and Genesis 1 verse 31. By the end of this podcast, I want you to walk away with practical ways to bring order into your life experience and experience God's peace in the process. So now we'll be moving properly into our podcast for today. My first question would be, what does it mean to live a life of order in today's fast-paced world? So we say is living a life of order in today's fast-paced world.
Okay, to me, I would say living a life of order in this fast paced world is living a purposeful and intentional life. A life that is free of confusion and doubt. A life whereby not everything gets your attention. Because in this fast paced world, there are so many things trying to get our attention. But you see, a person living a life of order knows what to accept, what to accommodate into his life, and what not to. So that's what I feel.
So to me, living a life of order in this fast-paced world is being different from the world. Like you living a life of order fishes you out in the crowd. As someone living a life of order, you know when to do and when not to, when to attend and when not to, when to do things. Like you have a structured life. Your life is being scheduled. You have a day-to-day routine. You have a routine for your life that is moving you. You have a process-paced life. You have a life of process that's nothing shakes you. You can't be distracted easily. Living a life of order in this fast-paced world is like you're just in your own type of your own world where others are doing the wrong, but you're on your mission, on your vision, which is already planned out and structured for you. So our next question will be, how does Habakkuk 2 verse 2 to 3 inspire us to plan and structure our lives with purpose? Please, can I have that scripture? Thank you very much. Habakkuk 2 verse 2. It says, "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it." Verse 3, the last verse. "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." So how can we align this scripture that it inspires our life, planned and structure?
For me, I would say the first part says we should write down a vision. First of all, a goal or an objective that is not in written form is merely a wish or a fancy. It has no energy backing it. It lacks direction. It lacks precision, which often leads to confusion. So, for you to have a vision, it must be in written form. It must be in written form. If not, there is nothing to it. It's just a mere wish. I just, oh, I wish I had this and so on. So the second part that says, though it may tarry, wait for it. It is for an appointed time. You see, a person that lives a life of order believes in process. He doesn't just rush into things. He knows that everything has a process before manifestation. So that's what I think.
For me, it says that scripture say write your vision and make it plain. Because once you write it, you actually know where you are heading to. Like Pastor will always say, direction is better than speed. If you just get up one morning, say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, it's as if you are just going to
You're going to
just
crash at the end.
yes, because you have nowhere you are going to. So I prefer you go to where you know, like you have written out your plan for that day. any other thing is said to be a distraction. Like you can't just say today, like maybe you are a stylist and you say you are going to sew like five clothes for people today, and then your friend just comes and tell you that let's go out, let's go and eat. Did I come to life to eat? Like once you have your plan, like you move with it, you run with it, and also just follow that path, because a person with living a life of order must have patience. Like what I always say, don't let somebody that is not in his process push you that is in your process out of your process, because eventually two of you will eventually be in the same spot, having nowhere to go, being frustrated, and maybe anything can happen.
So to me, like living this life of order, according to Habakkuk 2 verse 2 to 3, it says write the vision and make it plain. Like if you don't have a written routine or a written document of what you are planning to do, you are bound to make mistake. It's not a prediction. It's not something you can assume. You would definitely make mistake because you can easily, like, the thoughts of life can make you, like, you forgot some details, though you're not, it was not intentional though, but it can happen that you'll be, at the end you will not be like, you have been shaken. Like pastor said he made a mistake on the focus for the month, and that made him to draw out uh, a guideline for the motto for the month, like every event that will be happening in the month. So once you don't have a written document of what you're bound to do, you can not even, we're not talking about the mistake aspect, you can now start adding other things to it. You can say, you can be like, you want to do this thing today, you don't have it in a written form, you just be like, okay, let me just add this one now, you no go do anything. But at that time you are damaging the things you're supposed to do. The things of necessity are not coming, actually you're not adding other things to it, which is making it to be faulty now. It's now looking like you are doing wrong things with the right thing. So once you have a planned out vision, once you have a written vision, it's hard for there to be mistakes. And it says, wait for it, it will not tarry. Like a person of vision, a person that has a life of order, has patience. He expects anything. Is a person that is determined, focused. Like you know that this thing is bound to come. Let me just prepare my mind. I know temptations will come, tribulations will come. So I'm just expecting it. It's a life of process, and without process, nothing in this life can be achieved. So we're moving to another question, which says, 1 Corinthians 40. Say, let all things be done decently and in order. How can this principle apply to both our spiritual and everyday lives?
For me, in the first part, in our spiritual aspect, I will say that a person that lacks order cannot really grow spiritually, because spiritual growth entails intentionality, discipline, and precision. So without these things, you cannot grow. So in our everyday life, mm, a person that is not living a life of order hardly gets good people, hardly sustain good people.
Yeah.
Why? Because when people come into your life and they see that you are this kind of messy person, not decent, everything is always anyhow to you.
Anywhere belle
You
fits.
drive the good people. It's only the bad ones that can manage you. They will just
Because of what they are benefiting from you,
exactly.
actually.
So they will just manage you. So I feel like a life of order is important. According to 1 Corinthians 14 verse 14, our life must be decent and in order, both spiritually and in our everyday life. We should learn how to put things in order. We should learn how to prioritize things. There are things that are of importance. Imagine you are a student. What's your first priority? Is to study your books. There's a reason why you are going to school, right? There is a reason. So your topmost priority in school is to read your books, pass your exams, and come out with a flying color. Any other thing are just jara. That's your main focus. So that's it. A life of order, you have to have priority. You have to have things you put first. If not, anything can come your way.
Okay, for me, like when I was when during school time, in economics they told us something, scale of preference.
Mm.
Like you have a list of things you want to do,
Yeah.
and you must take it one at a time. The one that is most important should be your top. Like what she said as a student, your topmost priority is to study. Every other thing is just a distraction, it's just there. But as a student, you have to focus on your books, and including your work and every other thing. You need to arrange your life in a way that anybody that comes to you will know that yes, this person lives a life of order. You can't just get up one morning and say, this morning I'll go to this, I'll go to that, I'll go to that. You just end up doing achieving nothing that day. So you have to arrange your life in a way that everybody that sees you will know that yes, this person lives a life of order. When you move this to the spiritual aspect, if you don't have a life of order, you cannot achieve your vision, God's purpose for your life, because God loves a life of process. You have to take things one at a time. You move from this to this, from this to this. And also one thing, if you are not obedient, is also a problem, because obedience is, I think, order and obedience goes together very well.
Definitely.
Because if you say they give you, your mom gives you, like your mom gives you a list of things to do, you ignore the top most, the one that is very important, you now go and do the least one, she will still be angry because you did not follow exactly the way she asked you to do it. So I would say order helps us in everything, both spiritual, physical, and every other aspect of our lives.
So I also like to add, also decent dressing. A person that has a life of order knows how to dress decently. Pastor once said this, it's like he said you can't be going for a wedding and you wearing short knicker and you wearing slippers. That dressing does not it does not fit into that occasion. I will give the example. There was one day I think I was coming from church one day. I was just going on the way and this man just stopped me. He said, "You look so decent." You see, I just love the way you just. I was like, wow, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's like, I just love the way you are looking. I was like, thank you, sir. So my dressing attracted that man to me. If maybe there was something I needed to do, because of the way I dress, he would have given to me freely. So that's why I say an ordered life requires decency, both in dressing, in speech, and in everything.
Yeah, that's true. So in the spiritual realm, like what I would say, like Satan failed because he didn't follow order. The ranking is from God. So how can you want to shift the head and be the head? That's impossible. Except the head isn't there. Even though the head isn't there, you're supposed to give the head the respect. That living a life of order, a person living a life of order, always respects authorities. Either spiritually, physically, mentally, anyhow, you must respect authorities. So Satan failed because he was trying to be disordered. Wanted to make the place to be disordered. Like the order is already there, that God is the head. So he wanted to be the head, and that's out of order. So living a life of order spiritually means that you follow the rankings, you follow the hierarchies. Like you know when to do things. When you are living a life of order, you know when to pray, when to fast, when to do everything spiritually possible to make your life go more effective as a right standing Christian. And our everyday life, when we talk about our everyday life, living a life of order on our everyday lives, it helps us to be able to be focused, know when to do things, at appointed and right time. Like you can't be someone that you are doing this. If you are living a life of order, can't be somebody do like maybe you are just washing clothes now, and somebody will just come say, "Hey, this TV program has started. Oh, you come, let's go and watch the TV program." You leave the clothes and start going to. That's not a life. That's a disordered life. So when you are living a life of order, you'll be able to say no. When you live a life of order, you're a decisive person. You know when to say no. You know when to say yes. You know when to say no, I'm not going. You know when to say, okay, I will go. Or you can just say, this is not this is not the time for this. You can know that this thing will happen, but this is not the right time. When you live a life of order, you know when to do things, even though it's a good thing. Like some people will say, okay, now good thing now, let me just put it. But when you are living a life of order, even though it's a good thing, you will know the time that thing is supposed to be coming.
Sorry, I would like to add this. There's this saying that people say, they said, God looks at the inward. I'm still talking about the dressing aspect. God looks at the inward, not at the outward. There was this post I was going through, that the Adeboye, he wanted to correct his ministers. So they were having this teaching that it's only the inward that God looks, not the outward. So he went to the market, he bought two oranges, one that was ripe and one that was unripe. So he placed it before them. He said, which one do you think will be sweeter? They said the one that is ripe. They asked, how do you know? You've not cut it open. How do you know that is the one that is yellowish that will be sweet? He said, sir, it's written all over the body. See, it is yellowish, meaning that it is sweet inside. Then he said, yes, it means that the outward appearance matters the same way the inward appearance. So those persons that say God doesn't care about what we wear, is the inward, is our heart, that's wrong. That's very wrong. He cares about what we wear. He cares about how we represent him in our dressing. He cares. Thank you.
So thank you, Ma, for that addiction. So our next question will be from Proverbs 28, from Proverbs 29, verse 18, emphasizing some vision. Say, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So how does a clear vision contribute to living an orderly life?
Okay, I'll say once you actually know, if you have a clear vision, it helps you very much actually, because if your vision is not clear, it might actually lead you to a wrong path. That's why they say write your, because Habakkuk 12 say write your vision, make it plain. Because if you write it in like anyhow, you might miss your way. So a clear vision gives us clarity on what we actually want to do, give us clarity on our goal, our purpose, and what we want to fulfill in life.
I would say that having a vision keeps you focused. It makes you know where you are going to. It makes you accommodate only those things that will build your vision, not those things that will destroy it. I will take this example. Imagine a doctor and a lawyer. They have this aura they carry. You will not just see a doctor anywhere. If it is not in a place that pushes his vision as a doctor, you will not see him there. Same with a lawyer. You will not see a lawyer hardly will you see a lawyer in a beer parlor doing what? You either see them in a court or something related to their vision. So having a clear vision, it keeps you focused. It gives you direction. So that's what I feel.
Like a clear vision, it gives you, like, you know where you're going to. Like
Yeah.
she said, it gives you direction.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. When you live a life of order, you already have a vision. You know where you're going. You know what to do.
Yeah.
You know when to speak. You know when to do things at the right time. So I would say living a life of order contributes to our vision. Like somebody that has a vision must definitely live a life of order. It's a must. Because if you don't live a life of order, you can't attain your vision. Because there are distractions in this world. There are things that aren't worth your attention. But if you don't have a cleared and defined life, you will see it getting your attention. Like you can see, like a child now, like some children now, they will be doing their assignment too. Once they're on television, their eye will be there. So you need to caution that child to be able to live a life of order, because pastor said that parenting is the bedrock of orderliness. That's what pastor said today. Say parenting brings orderliness. So you have to be able to breed your children to know when to do things. Like that child that is watching television, that is supposed to be doing his assignments, that's already a disordered life. So you have to structure that child into a life of order to be able to, even though the television is on, if it's loud, you can say, please, map, turn the television off, or turn it low, or you can just leave that place and go to another place. So a life of order and a life of vision makes you know when to do things at the right time and the appropriate location to do things.
Okay, I also want to add, having a clear vision helps you choose who your friends are, the places you go to. So having a clear vision, if this person does not have the same vision with you, does not have what it takes to help your vision, you detach from that person. If what the person does is always bring down your vision, do things that will destroy your vision, what happens? You walk away from that person. You only associate yourself with people that are willing and ready to enhance your vision.
Like your vision brings your friends, like she said. You can't see like you can't see it's not proper for a native doctor and a pastor to be aligning. They have no business. They have nothing in common. Life exactly. Light has nothing with darkness. So your vision draws people to you. Your vision brings your like to you. Like if you're somebody that has a vision, you have a vision that you're supposed to be doing, then you are doing another thing. That thing you are doing will actually bring people of that same categories to you, and that's already a disordered life. You living your vision now has taken you to a disordered life, drawing inappropriate people into your life. So I'll say vision draws your companions, your life partners.
Just to add to what you said, in physics they said like charges don't repel, they don't attract. That only unlike charges, opposite charges attract each other. But I would say vision. In vision, that is the opposite of what physics laws tells us.
Yeah.
Because in vision now, you have to align yourself with like people that are of your caliber. So if you attract yourself with people that are not of you, you actually go astray.
You'll be corrupt.
Yes, that's true. Because in First Corinthians 15:33, it said, "Good, corrupt communication corrupts good manners."
So I also want to add this. That's why most persons, when they go to school, they have the everybody that goes to school have this mindset before going first class, first class, first class, first class. There's no student that will go to school that does not have that as their top priority. But you see, it's just that when some go to university, they don't have a clear vision of what they want to do, of how they want to achieve it. That's why you see some persons will paired with some roommates. Instead of them to conquer the roommates will conquer them. It's because one, they don't have a clear vision of what they want. If you have a clear vision of what you want, no matter the persons around you, you will not give in. Because why? Your eyes are not looking their way. There is something you are targeting, and that's where your focus is. Just as most times we give in too much to a distraction. That's why instead of first class, most of class, most of us are coming out with some unknown classes. Praise the
Some people
Lord.
have attendance. Okay. We'll say in Genesis 1 verse 31. Genesis 1 verse 31. Say God saw all he had made. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So how does order reflect God's design in creation? In creation. How can you say order reflects God's design?
I would say order reflects God's design in creation because God did one thing at a time. It actually puts everything in a scale of preference, like one needed at a time. Like when God came, he said the world was without form and void. He saw that darkness was upon the earth. So first thing he did, he created light. He created light. He took one thing at a time. The pastor said when God was creating, before fishes were made, there was ocean for them to live in. Before man was made, there were already things that he was going to need on the earth. So living a life of help, if you want to link God's design in creation and order, they are very much alike because God created the world in an orderly manner. He took things one at a time. He first created light, then every other thing followed.
Like you said, when God came to create the world afresh, the world was in chaos. was in a very deep chaos. But what happened? God brought order out of that chaos. There was nothing in the earth, but out of that nothing, He brought forth something. If you see, when He was, like she said, when He was creating, He took it step by step. If you look at it, what's the first thing that is needed? It was light, because nothing can happen in a place that is in darkness. So He separated light. No, until that gown becomes an A-shaped gown, I will still not be satisfied. I will do all I can to make sure that it is an A-shaped gown. So that is it. Until you arrive at your focus, until you arrive at that thing which you want to do, you keep on doing it. If you saw when God was creating, He was creating. He was when he got to a point, He would say, "This is good. Okay, meaning this is perfect. It has accomplished what is in my mind." So there was something in His mind. That was what was directing Him. That was what was guiding Him.
So
Actually, I want to ask what she said. I remember when Pastor was telling us the story of the man who made 7 Up. He said he failed 6 times and then he accomplished it the 7th time. If it were some people, once they did it once or twice and they failed, they would just give up. But the man pressed on. He had a vision, had where he was going to, had something he wanted to accomplish.
Yes.
If it was some people, they will say, "I've tried and I've tried and I've tried," unknowing, but you have not tried enough. There are still many other things to accomplish.
like in creation, it was God is a God of order actually, because when the, when the when when the Bible started, said the word was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So God being a God of order was, like Pastor would say, he said he was thinking, like the Spirit of God moved upon the waters and he was thinking. So suddenly he said, "Let there be light." So living a life of order gives you this insight. Like you'll be a thinking person to know what to do at a time. Doing them orderly. Like when it got to the time of Adam, after God has created, when it got to the time of Adam, Adam fell into a deep sleep. And God made Adam fall into a deep sleep and took rib from him and made a woman. Being a life of order, Adam was able to distinguish. He had that same mind with God. Like God said, He created us in His own likeness. So Adam was able to design and knew that this was actually taken out of me. It would have been like if he's like he doesn't have the same mind with God. It would be like, where did this person come from? God, where did you carry this person from? But he had the same spirit with God and was able to know that this was actually out of me. And when it got to the time of Adam naming the animals, that was also an order that he followed, which is a pace God has already set. God has started it, so Adam has to just follow in God's footsteps. So in creating anything at all, process is needed, order is needed. Like you said, the man that created 7 Up tried 6 times. That was his process. The 7th time he actually got it. So that 6 times he failed was actually, should I put it as?
Okay, let's just say it was his stepping stone.
Yeah, that was a stepping stone. Let's say it's a stepping stone. He failed 6 times. He was determined. He knew what he wanted. He knew that this is what I wanted. Even as he failed that 6th time, he could just as well, maybe at the 6th time, have just said, let me just take it like this. But he knew what he wanted and he went for it.
To me, I won't say he failed. I will say he discovered different ways of doing it differently.
Yeah.
So that's just it.
So what practical steps can someone take to cultivate discipline and organization in personal habits?
Personal habits.
What practical steps can someone take to
I was
cultivate discipline and organization in personal habits?
okay. I would say in personal habits,
Yeah.
I would say just have a routine, have a schedule. Because if you have a schedule, just write what you want, paste it somewhere you know you can see it perfectly well. If you just get a cardboard, write it boldly, post it at the side of your wall, so that once you wake up in the morning, you look at what you are going to do for the day. It will help you very well, because if you look at that thing, you already know what you are going to do for the day. Every other thing will have to be done in your spare time. And even if you have the spare time, there are still some limits to what you could do, and there's still restrictions to what you will do and what you will not do. So I would say just have a scheduled life.
Okay, for me, I would say be intentional. And whatever you are doing, look at the consequences of the consequences of you not doing it. Imagine I'm going to school, right? What are the consequences of me not reading my book? In the future, what will happen? I will not turn out to be a successful person in life. I will not turn out to be a respectable person in life. So whatever you are doing, whatever habits you are doing, like you are reading books, you are learning a skill, don't look at it now. Look at the future. If I don't do this thing, how will it affect my future? If I don't do this thing, what effects will it have on my future? Will the effect be good or will it be bad? If it will be bad, then you yourself will advise yourself that, guy, I need to sit up and start doing something. So you look at the consequences. If I don't study my book, what will be the consequences? If I don't learn this skill, what will be the consequences? If I don't learn how to be a good cook, what will be the consequences? If I don't learn how to be respectful, what will be the consequences? When you look at the consequences of things, then you'll be able to sit up and do the right thing.
Like, I'll just take this example. Like, you see someone that has diabetes now. He has been warned not to take sugary things, right? So we can say that person can be forgetful and wants his body must desire those things, because actually he actually used to take them, he's used to them already. So now making it an habit, like to quit sugary things, you have to have a planned, or if it gets to the extent of you writing it and pasting it on the wall, as you said, you can just paste it, like you now be having your timetable for food, for eating. So that way it can now have a new habit, a new personal habit of eating, that it will not be eating sugary things again, but now have eating more things that will give him a good health. So that way you can say order has been restored there. Like him following those process restored his health, which was the vision, that was ahead, to get a new and balanced health and back for and out of diabetes. So creating a personal habit, you need more than just talking. Like, say, like pastor will say, every new resolution needs a revolution. So talking is cheap, but applying it, you can just see somebody that, like I said, somebody that has diabetes now will be like, I don't want to die, I need to push sugary things. It's not talking that is there. You need to be able to take the actions to get a new personal habit, not to be taking sugary things anymore. So that's, yeah, you have to be intentional about it, to be able to like quit those habits of yours before and get a new habit that will be more beneficiary to your health. And when we talk about the spiritual aspects to get a personal habit, like people that say, I want to pray by this time now, I will don't worry, let me just sleep small, by 3 o'clock I will pray. My brother, you will sleep that sleep till 5 o'clock, you will not wake up. You will sleep that sleep till 5 o'clock, you know. Like pastor said there was a time that he missed prayer, which was his personal habit of always
for 3
praying.
days, yeah.
He missed prayer for 3 days and he burnt his mattress. So anything that goes against your personal habits, that's why you need discipline. You need to discipline your body.
Yeah.
Like the question said, discipline and organization. how does it affect your personal habit? So you need discipline there to be able to discipline yourself. Like, say I don't want to sleep.
Mm.
You can just be walking around, because if you know if you sit down,
Yeah.
you will sleep. Or if you just use something now, say I want to pray, let me just lie down small. Later I will stand up. You will sleep.
You sleep off, that's it.
Everyone knows you will sleep. You will sleep that sleep. So living a life of order is able to have discipline. To be able to discipline your body, to know what to do, what will, what will result in the vision you want. Be able to discipline yourself to get it, and your personal habits also.
I would say you set up structures. Once you look at what you want to do, you set up structures that will help you do it. Like now, probably let's say I want to lose weight. Now, what are the things I need to do to lose weight? First of all,
Exercise.
exercise. I need to cut down late night food.
Yeah.
Yes,
I need to. There are so many things. You just put structures. If not, you will not be able to. There will be nothing for you to follow. So whatever you want to do, if is you want to learn a skill online, you want to start reading a book, you want to grow, anything, you have to put in structure that will enable you to fulfill it.
So our next question will be: how does chaos and disorganization affect our spiritual growth and emotional well-being? How does chaos and disorganization affect our spiritual growth and emotional well-being?
So you can you go over the question again?
How does chaos and disorganization affect our spiritual growth and emotional well-being?
Okay, I think let me go with the spiritual first. Okay, first of all, God is not a God of chaos. I happened to be reading a book on the fear of God, something like that. And the writer started with something. He said he was invited to preach in a place. So as he got there, they were praising, worshiping. They had good voices. But he felt the presence of God was not there. He saw people moving around. Like the congregation, everywhere, they were so disorganized. The people were, choristers were singing. The people were discussing. They were moving around. That shows that a place that is disorganized, the presence of God is not there.
Yeah.
So
God
when
is a
he,
God of order.
yeah,
Actually.
so when he mounted the pulpit, there was a message he wanted to preach. But then God revealed to him that I cannot be in a place where there is no order. They are worshiping. People are talking, pressing their phone, walking about. Even another preacher came on stage and was talking. They were not even listening to him. So when he climbed the stage, he didn't speak. He just stayed there. So they were like, where is everybody? Where is everywhere quiet? So that's where those ones that were pressing their phone, that were talking, they looked up. And the man said, yes, I have your attention now. So he started talking. Let's even use this example. Imagine that the Oba of Benin is here. Will you be pressing your phone? You will not. You will be so still as if the man owns your life. So how much more God? How much more God that we cannot give him the reference that he deserves? How much more him? So I feel that a person that lacks order cannot grow spiritually. Why? Because God is a God of order. Imagine